How's everyone doing today? I'm going to clear up a little bit on the active fuel management on the 6.0 motors. I'm sure there are some 6.0 motors out there that have AFM. If somebody knows for sure, can chime in to help me out here. But I know a vast majority of them do not, especially in the truck applications. 6.0, they're typically meant for work, so they know that they're not going to be shutting off cylinders. But I don't know in any of the other applications if they have it. These towers here that I had mentioned when I took the valley plate off. So that's what they look like on AFM motors. I'm assuming they're on the 6.0 just because that's the way their dies are set up, and it's a lot cheaper just to run everything the same. And then what they do is the valley plate has those to block those off. They also, which I have around here somewhere, Lingenfelter makes a tool to close these off as well. And if you look at built motors, people that have built motors or aftermarket blocks, a lot of times these towers will still be here. Again, I'm assuming because that's the way the dies are set up and it's just cheaper that way. But you'll see these don't have the holes in them. They close them off permanently that way. But again, the valve covers, they have these gaskets on there. They're supposed to do the same thing. To show the difference of some of the AFM, non-AFM, and variable valve timing. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so these are from my 5.3 when I was having lifter issues. This is the displacement on demand or active fuel management lifter, and then this is a standard regular lifter. So the spring is what activates the active fuel management, and that's typically where it will get stuck. So see, this one doesn't have that. It eliminates that, and vastly helps with the lifter issues. The other thing with the variable valve timing, this is your cam bolt. Somehow this works with the timing and the phaser and all the stuff that I'm not too sure and aware of. I don't know what all's in there to make it work that way. I don't know if it's magnets or what. Again, if somebody else knows, feel free to chime in to help us out. I've just not looked too much into it because I converted mine to a 3-bolt, which is what's going to happen. And this one as well is going to be a 3-bolt. Any LS Vortec motor that I get is more than likely going to get converted to the 3-bolt anyway. So VVT, that's a quick way if you're looking at your cam and your cam bolt. That's what it'll look like if you have variable valve timing. And again, these are the lifters. The difference between an active fuel management lifter or displacement on demand, you'll hear those terms interchangeably. And then the non, they won't have a leaf on them like that. That one's been sitting in the bottom of a barrel for a while. But you can see from there to there pretty much the same. And then again, that spring is really the main difference between those two and what activates and deactivates active fuel management. So you'll hear some stories of guys saying they've never had issues, more stories of guys saying they've had issues with the active fuel management. So especially if you're ever tearing into one of these motors and you see that you have these, it's not a bad idea with the motor part to go ahead and replace them. You can get factory lifters fairly cheap, under $200 if you're not going to be doing performance mods to where you really need to be revving the thing up. So just something to keep in mind. It's not bad if you've got a motor to this point. Go ahead and take these things out and throw these in. And mileage is not going to hurt you either if you're worried about, mileage is going to go down because I'm going to go from, deactivating 4 cylinders to 8. It won't. My 5.3 that I have mild mods done to it and drive fairly aggressively. When it was in stock form, I was getting 16, 17. After that, if I wanted to, I could get 14 to 15. So, maybe a mile per gallon difference, driving pretty aggressively. And I'm sure I could get better mileage if I tried. I just don't. So nothing to be concerned about if you do away with your active fuel management and you're concerned about mileage. Nothing to be concerned at all with there. So other than that, everything else is pretty standard. This is also the old 5.3 camshaft So you can see there's the pin, but there's not a 3-bolt there on the front of that. So if for some reason this is out and you're looking at a cam wondering if it's a 3-bolt cam or not, that's a quick way to see that as well. So quick rundown of AFM and the Valley and how all this kind of stuff ties together there. If anybody knows some of the answers to the stuff that I didn't know about, like how exactly this all works, if it's based off of magnets or any of that, I'd be glad to learn about that stuff as well as the 6.0 motors. If anybody knows any of those that do have AFM, I'm not aware of any, but if there are some out there, it'd be good to know, so everybody's kind of knowing what they're looking at. Thanks, guys. Feel free to share and subscribe to the channel. Be glad to put some more stuff out that you guys want to see.